And welcome back to another video, and today, spooky 5 spooky Scoopy stories.
This happened about 5 years ago when I was 21. Me and my friend Seth got into this app which showed you ghosts.
Okay.
We'd go out ghost hunting, but nothing much would happen.
Okay.
Sometimes a dot would appear on one of our phones and it would say random words. We would ask, "How did you die?" Stuff like that. And sometimes the answers lined up, but it was mostly random. One night around 2 a.m., Seth suggested...
Tip: if your eyes are itchy, just do this. It's perfect. It's a bit. Oh, freak. Oh my god, it's everywhere. Ah, to my eyes. Ooh, ooh. Well, now my shirt's wet. Well, if your eyes are ever itchy, just get a Mountain Dew or any type of soda and just do this, you know? Alright, yeah, just right where it's itchy. You just gotta go right where it's itchy. Yup, right there. Wait. Still itchy, so you gotta get a lot on there. If it's really itchy, you gotta get a lot. Oh yeah. That's how you know you did it right, if your shirt is soaked. Yeah, look how soaked it is, boys. Well, I put myself into this situation, so I'm going to wear this shirt for the rest of the video.
Going to the cemetery to see if the app picked anything up. I was hesitant, but I nervously agreed. We started making our way through the neighborhood towards the cemetery. It was weird, as the streets are normally lined with cars, but they were empty on this night. We walked down the middle of the road with the app running, but it wasn't picking anything up. We finally made it to the cemetery, which was a small, family-owned one where they only buried their own. Seth went up to the gate and started shouting, hoping to get a response on the app, but nothing happened. I was standing in the road, feeling unsettled, when Seth starts yelling, "Is that all you've got?" I told him to stop disrespecting the dead and we should leave. He tried being funny, saying, "Oh, I'll make them show up," and jumped the gate and started stomping on the graves while screaming, "Come on, show us something." All of a sudden, our phones said something at the same time. I looked down at my phone and it was there. We both just stood there, looking at each other, when 10 or so red dots appeared on the radar, and it said it again. When I looked back up from my phone, Seth was next to me. I said, "We have got to go." As soon as I said that, we hear the streetlights turning off one by one at the top of the street, getting to us. We took off running as fast as we could. We got about halfway into the neighborhood before running out of breath and having to stop. I felt like I was going to throw up from being scared and winded. Then I heard my phone say something. It was muffled, but I knew what it said. Being too scared to look at my phone, I looked at Seth, who looked terrified. He nodded at me to get my phone out, so I slowly pulled it out, and it said my name across the top. I turned my phone off and said, "Screw this. I'm done." We made our way back to my house and...
Wow, that is spooky.
had a cigarette to calm down. We were talking about what just happened, almost not believing it, when I heard my phone again. This time, it was my sister's name, which just stood there, frozen, not saying a word. It went off again and said my brother's name. I took my phone out, turned it on, and deleted the app. I asked Seth to stay the night, but he refused. I can't blame him. When I finally got to sleep that night, I dreamt a muffled voice repeating a word over and over. I started to wake up and the words became clearer. My phone was off, with the battery out. When I turned it over, it was lit up with the app running. It had a red dot about 6 feet from me, still repeating. up the next morning and went to the bathroom. I had a razor-thin cut from my left shoulder to my right hip. I don't know what happened that night, and nothing has happened to me since. Needless to say, I don't mess with that kind of stuff anymore.
Good. Okay, so white means that was terrible. Red is eerie, and it means that story was awesome. You know what that story was? It was red. And that ending was just so emotional, man. It made me cry, man. It was so emotional. So sad. Alright. So sad.
And myself had our company trip to the Stanley Hotel in Estes Park, known for being Stephen King's inspiration. An 8 p.m. ghost tour where we joined about 15 other people to get guided around the property, told stories about its history and creepy things that are said to have happened. We were told to take a lot of pictures, church structure orbs or ghosts. Many orbs were hidden, but I don't think anything photo taken by my coworker. A little girl in a pink dress was definitely not on our tour. And apparently years ago, a young girl who was 12 to 13 by the name of Lucy was squatting in the basement of the concert hall, which is where this photo was taken. And she was discovered upon planning to begin some construction. She was forced to leave and the night got below freezing. So she froze to death. Everyone on my tour has vouched that this girl was not on our tour. I mean, who wouldn't remember someone wearing hot pink? The pictures our tour guide, no one would have been in front of him. I am convinced that this is the ghost of Lucy.
Pause. That was just froze to death? Froze?
One more I didn't know, though I doubt anyone would believe me. But there was only one time throughout the tour where I felt any strange energy or feeling, and it was right there, headed down to the basement of the concert hall.
What? You deserve a red flag, red flag, red. The endless opportunity. Die. Ew! What am I getting myself into? Well, I don't know if this is another one or what, but so we've reacted to 2 out of like 6. I think I'm gonna do maybe 6. So yeah, I had to take a shower because it smelled like Mountain Dew, but you know, that last story, that got a red for me, but just like the first one, just, did we watch 2? Hold on, I think let's see here. Okay, so yeah, that was the second one. But the first one, was just so emotional, and the second one, I mean, wasn't far behind, man. It was just It's just so emotional. Man, that was a lot of pee. Alright, I gotta clean that up. Oh, it's dripping down my leg. It's dripping down my leg. Yeah, it really looks like I just peed myself. Alright. Well, if I made you laugh, you have to like and subscribe, because this is going to be a pain. Like, I'm not joking, a pain to clean up. So, I just changed for about like the third time in like the past 15 minutes, so I hope the next one doesn't make me cry. If it does, I have a towel over there.
It was right there, down to the basement of Zero.
Okay, that's the way to put that one.
What's that? Plain white sauce. Plain white sauce makes your teeth go grey. This happened a few weeks ago when I was walking home from school, excited that my freshman year was coming to an end. It was a Tuesday night when I was turning in my last essay for history. I left it to the last minute, and the teacher actually made me complete it before I could go home. I hated my teacher for that. Around 8 p.m., I had finished that goddamn essay and was walking home. The rain had stopped, and there was a beautiful sunset. Suddenly, I noticed something. There was a red 2016 Toyota Camry right behind me. I got goosebumps thinking it was following me. I didn't look back and started walking in my apartment's direction. I wanted to go to a busy road to feel safer. Just then, the car sped up, stopping right next to me. A middle-aged man asked me where I was headed and suggested to drop me off. I said no thanks, but the man wouldn't leave and insisted. I wanted to tell the man to just fuck off, but I took off running instead. I heard a loud noise and at the same time felt something I can only describe as a sharp vibration hitting my flesh. I fell to the ground not knowing what happened. Out of adrenaline, I was about to get up and run again as I felt a heavy arm grab me by the mouth. Then the pain set in. I realized that I was shot. There was another man next to him that searched my pockets. He grabbed my phone and threw it on the ground as he tied my legs and taped my mouth. They quickly put me into the trunk of their car and then started driving. I could feel that we were going very fast, and I'm sure that we hadn't stopped at all for a good 3 minutes. I was feeling my blood soaking into my shirt, which scared me the most. I was certain that I was going to die. I was thinking about my parents and what they would feel when they heard that I was missing. Then the car was up. By some miracle, I heard a police officer asking for IDs and driver's licenses. I wanted to yell for help, but nothing came out. Just then, I heard 3 or 4 gunshots. I heard another cop yelling, "Man down! Man down! Shots fired!" I was begging the cop to find me. And I heard the cop searching the car. I was feeling joy as my pain was growing worse. It felt like hours. The officer then opened the car's trunk and suddenly started firing at me out of a fight or flight response. Thankfully, the bullet missed. The officer quickly caught up to the fact that I was kidnapped and injured. He called for backup immediately, and it arrived in minutes. They placed the injured officer onto a gurney and drove off in an ambulance. Finally, when the was safe, they called another ambulance for me. I woke up in the hospital. The news media was everywhere. I was fine after a few days later learned that the officer that was shot didn't make it. I don't know if those men are still alive or rotting away in a prison for killing an officer. I want to know what would have happened if those officers
third story, man. Third story is just so beautiful. So beautiful. It leaked through the towel. Come on, I thought you were gonna help. No, I'm sorry.
This happened when I was 17 years old.
Alright, good for you.
I would go to the gym 3 to 4 times a week and ride the bus home. It was a Sunday and I had to miss my bus, so I had to wait longer for another one. I called my parents, but they were out for the evening, and taxis just more. So I decided to sit and meet in the bus shelter. It was a cool night, so I just started peppering ground. My bus was taking longer than usual, so I got my phone out and listened to music. Almost an hour had passed. It was freezing and I hadn't seen anyone at all. Until I noticed something in the corner of my eye. It was a creepy guy dressed in thick layers of clothing, walking slowly towards me. I knew staring at him would draw more attention, so I just focused on my phone. He sat down at the other end of the shelter and just stared at me. There was something off about him. He seemed like he was either drunk or on drugs. He then asked, "What does this do?" I took out my earphones and said, "I think it's delayed because of them." He stared at me for a while, then started mumbling to himself. He was really starting to creep me out, so I pretended to be on my phone. After a couple of minutes, I took another look. He moved closer to me. I looked away for a second, then heard the sound of him sliding closer. I turned to him and said, "You okay there?" He stared at me with glassy eyes, lifted his arm and leaned towards me. Immediately, I grabbed my bag and ran as he hit the ground. I ran down the road, trying my hardest not to look back. I kept going until I got to the next bus stop. I turned around and checked to see if he was there. He was gone, so I went to sit down. Feeling relieved, I rested my head on the back of the glass and waited for the bus. I jolted and turned around to see the same guy staring at me through the glass. "What the hell is wrong with you?" Then he started walking around the shelter towards me. "I'm warning you, stay back!" I yelled in panic as I was backing up. I wanted to run, but I left my bag in the shelter and I couldn't leave without it. Suddenly, the man leaped at me and I quickly moved out of the way. He fell to the ground face first. I froze in shock and then noticed the blood coming from his face. I tried to get a response out of him, but nothing worked. I called the police and paramedics and they arrived shortly after. I told them what had happened and they told me that the guy was on prescription drugs. They found a photo in his wallet of his son. The boy looked just like me, so we assumed he thought I was him. I later learned that he had lost his son in a custody battle and went off the rails. He was taken away for treatment. That was the last I saw of him. I got my driver's license shortly after, and have never been on a bus since.
You see that? He's there!
It was November 2006. I was a 16-year-old kid living in the town of Altoona, Iowa. I went to bed early one night because I had to work the early shift at McDonald's. As I slept, I had a dream I was running through downtown Des Moines, but I wasn't on a jog. I was running from something. As I ran around the corner of a building, I came face to face with my pursuer. A tall man wearing a trench coat and a top hat stood in front of me. The only thing visible of his face was his eyes. They were abnormally large black pupils, and it looked at me as it wanted something.
So my mom just walked in. Anyway, that is one big cowboy.
felt like hours. He reached his bony hand, as if he wanted me to go with him. I woke up violently from my dream, and after catching my breath, I peered around my room to see if I was safe. As I stood from my bed, I could see my breath. Feeling confused, I checked my window. It was latched shut. And then I walked over and checked my bed. I could still feel warm air come from it. As I sat back down on my bed, I tried to figure out what exactly was going on. That's when the figure from my dream appeared at the foot of my bed. I scrambled back to my headboard. "What do you want?" I asked, trying to hide the shakiness in my voice. With the same bony finger, it pointed at me. Growing up in a religious home, I believed what I was looking at was a demon. I told the creature to leave. It just waved its finger at me, and with a low voice, it spoke to me. "Never leave. Always." The creature then screamed loudly and disappeared. A feeling of nausea came over me, and I fell up on the floor. The last thing I remember was cleaning myself up and waking up to an alarm. It's been about a month since I had wearing a man in my bedroom. The Christmas season was full effect. My parents weren't home. We got invited to some kind of event, so it was only me and my three sisters. I did wake up early in the morning for work, so I decided to go to sleep. I rested my head on the pillow and closed my eyes. Not even 30 seconds passed until my sisters burst into my room and started singing obnoxious songs. This, of course, made me very angry, but I thought if I ignored them that they would leave me alone. This was not the case. As I pulled the blankets over my head, I started to feel the same cold feeling that I had in November. As the obnoxious singing subsided, I lowered the blanket below my eyes and saw the man standing in the corner of my room. In one swift motion, he charged towards me, and I blacked out. When I finally came to, I found that my sisters had locked themselves inside the bathroom. As I knocked on the door, they told me to go away. I asked them what happened, and all they could say was Mom and Dad were on their way home. I looked down and saw that my hand was slightly bloody. Holes were in the bathroom door, and a broom sticking out of the wall. I then walked into the living room and found that there were knives stuck into the wall as well. The same wave of nausea passed over me. In November, I threw up again. As I was cleaning up, my parents walked through the door. My father immediately walked over to me and gave me a good beating. Then he sent me to my room.
What?
I went to bed crying. Not for the beating. I was crying because of confusion. I had no idea what was going on.
I'm crying too.
The next morning, my sisters reluctantly sat next to me and told me what had happened. As I got angry, I chased them down and tried to hurt them. They said my eyes were red to the point I thought I was bleeding from them. They said I sounded like a different person. In 2011, that was the last time I saw the top hat wearing man. I just moved into a new apartment, and after a long, stressful day of unpacking, I took a shower and got ready for bed. As I started to drift off, I could feel that cold feeling again. I lifted my head and saw the man standing in front of me. The man's eyes were red now. With a low voice, just like on that November night, it looked at me and said, "Always here." During my holiday, I spent about 3 weeks in Japan. I arrived pretty late, so I couldn't check into the hotel that I initially booked. So I booked the cheapest hotel I could find nearby. Aesthetically, it was hallways, but it did have easy access to the building, meaning anyone could come in and go to any room they please. Plus, there was no security in sight. After arriving in my room, I ordered some food and watched some TV. I was still pretty jet-lagged from the flight, so I started to get ready for bed. As I was falling asleep, I felt the urge to double-check the door just to see if it was locked. I didn't think anything was going to happen, but I'd rather be safe than sorry.
Yeah.
About 5 minutes after I checked the door, I heard footsteps outside. Initially, I thought it was someone leaving their room, but the footsteps started to pick up speed. The sound started getting louder and louder, and I started to freak out a little. All of a sudden, the sound stopped. I looked at the light shine through the bottom of my door, and there was a shadow of a person. At first, I thought it was room service, but it was too late for that. Maybe it was some drunk idiot who was in the room. As soon as I switched my light on, the shadow disappeared. I was confused, but I reluctantly went back to bed. That's when I suddenly heard scratching coming from my door. So I immediately turned my light on and shouted, "Who's there?" After a moment of silence, I heard footsteps slowly fade away. At this point, I was thinking maybe some kids messing around, so I got up, opened the door, and peeked my head outside. I glanced in both directions down the dark and slim hallways. That's...
No! I forgot, it's touchscreen. It's touchscreen.
I didn't know what to think. I just looked up at him with a fearful and confused expression.
Here.
I jolted. It's been about a month since I had seen the top hat wearing man and feel the cold feeling again. I lifted my head.
Yeah, my laptop is touchscreen, so.
As he screamed, and I could see he was holding a knife in his right hand. As he got closer, I could see him more clearly. He had disgusting long, dirty hair. His clothes were cuts and bruises all over.
Oh, I don't know what he says. It's dark. Lights.
I quickly slammed my door press against it, praying that the man would just go away. After an hour, I finally gathered my courage and looked through the people. He was gone. I let out a sigh of relief and checked people again. My heart pumping faster than ever before.
This is the part where he says it.
He was right in front of the door. He was wearing a maniacal smile on his face.
Okay. Alright. Yep, so this is the part.
I jumped back and kept my eyes locked on the bottom door as I went to my bed. Grabbed my phone and started dialing the police. I raised the phone to my ear.
I'm gonna beep and kill you!
I saw that the shadow was gone. When the police arrived to try to explain what happened, and they checked the security cameras, they almost immediately recognized the man. He had been doing this to people for a while now, and the police started to track him down for months. After a long night of sleep, I finally arrived at the right hotel that I had booked initially in Tokyo. That creepy guy was still in my mind, but I thought the chances of him being here were pretty slim, so I didn't bother locking my door that night.
You're dumb. You're dumb.
At 12:05 a.m., I woke up to a big bang next to me. I turned around to see the same guy passed down on the floor, a knife in hand. I was in shock. How did he find me? I quickly ran out of the room and locked him inside.
Good boy.
The cops came and was finally arrested. Let's just say I'm always going to be locking my doors from now on.
Dude, why wouldn't you? You absolutely
26 years old, and I was unemployed. Feeling unfulfilled by the monotony of a job life, I decided I would try my hand at working from home. So my days and nights comprised me of surfing the internet for any jobs I could get. I was a big procrastinator, so more often than not, I'd stray away and waste time doing other things. One day, I came across talk about the deep web while on Reddit. I felt amused by the people talking about it as if it was something so scary, and decided I'd look into it. It was stupid of me to go in the first place, but I made it even sillier by deciding to check it out late at night. It was about 2 a.m. and I came across a website where you could chat with someone anonymously. The person I got was a woman. She was in her early 20s and very pretty. She sat with her head in her hands, looking playful into the webcam while batting her eyes. I had no desire to turn my camera on and started our chat, thinking that while I didn't come across anything scary, I could befriend this pretty girl. It sounded like a better deal anyway.
How are you?
She told me to turn the camera on. I ignored that request and tried her to talk.
Come on.
She finally did after some prodding, but I noticed how guarded she was. I also noticed how after every message I sent, her eyes would look off camera, either to her side or somewhere behind her computer. After a while, it started getting annoying, so I asked her if someone else was there with her.
Someone else.
I want to see you first.
She said. Up until now, I'd been chatting while she'd answered my questions verbally. I'm not that curious,
Don't be scared.
she said, laughing, this time looking behind the laptop again and making a face that seemed to indicate she was laughing at my expense with someone else. This is getting boring. It feels like I'm not just talking to you.
That's because you're not. You're talking to all of us.
Who else is there?
Turn your camera on.
Is this a joke?
Turn it on.
Okay, I'll be leaving now.
Turn on the camera.
The laughter was almost piercing by now. There was nothing humorous about the situation, yet she threw her head back with riotous laughter. I'd had enough and moved the cursor over to turn the chat box off when I saw the cursor had jammed. The only thing that was working was the chat box, and I still had access to the keyboard.
Turn the camera on, sweetie.
Her gumdrop-filled voice was louder than before, and I moved my gaze up, seeing her smiling to me at the camera. Her face still beautiful, but the smile completely fake. My computer's crashed. I can't see the screen. Sorry. I lied. I didn't want her to know I had no option but to chat. Her screen flashed before going blank. There was nothing there but a black screen. I felt relieved, thinking that at least I didn't need to talk to her while I tried to figure out what happened to the screen. Just then, that message popped up.
Open the damn camera.
The aggressiveness in the message frightened me. Now, the fact that I couldn't see her face while she typed this made me feel nervous. I didn't dare reply back, but then the cursor moved. I watched shell-shocked as the cursor twirled around the screen.
Open the camera now.
I still didn't make a move. There was no way anything good would be waiting for me if I did what she asked. The screen began flickering, as if a virus was causing the computer to writhe in agony.
Do you want me to find you?
My heart raced. Could it be possible she knew where I was? I started typing. Please stop bothering me.
Then turn on the fucking camera.
By this point, I thought she was some kind of sadist who got kicks by scaring unassuming people in chat rooms. So I obliged and turned the webcam on. I saw my frightened face staring into the screen. Judging by my face, my attempts at looking tough were painfully unsuccessful. I asked around for the girl looking straight into the camera, telling her I did what she wanted, just packing into my computer. There were several seconds of silence. I kept my stare directed to the little box that showed her camera feed, but it was pitch black. I motioned into the camera in confusion, feeling as if she was messing with me now. Then I saw another message.
Look here.
After a few seconds of staring at those words, I looked back at her, but my computer instantly malfunctioned, and I received another message.
Look here. Don't look.
The chat was filled with nonsensical gibberish. It was such ferociously, my screen whirled away with constant messages. I couldn't understand what was going on, but I didn't look up. My patience ran thin, and I rolled back.
Look, you guys see that? Look at the capital letters. L O O K U P. Look up.
What is this supposed to mean? Her response came. I read only the letters in bold and shuddered. I looked back into her webcam, and I fell back into my chair, my eyes widening. She was back there. Her face looked completely demented. She had a savage expression, devoid of emotion. Her eyes were almost popping out of sockets, and she was huffing as if she had extreme amounts of pent-up rage. The way she looked directly into the camera made me feel she despised me with all of her being. There was no amusement there anymore. Her camera went blank again. Then the chat popped up. My heart stopped again. For a split second, they were in the same blackness, only for the lights to come back on. She wasn't alone anymore. There was a man next to her with a black mask on. He made no movements other than look at the camera on the girl. The girl's neck reached to her side. It looked like it was causing her pain, and then the lights went out again. The chat resumed. This time, I screamed in fright and fell off my chair. There was another man. He was standing next to the girl with the original one on the other side. This man had the same mask on, but his hands were grasping the girl's shoulders. Even with the subpar quality of the webcam, I could see the force with which the man dug his hands into the girl. It looked like he could rip her in two. The girl, however, had a huge grin on her face. Her eyes were mad with glee, or so it looked. Her teeth were perfectly lined up as her mouth spread into that toothy grin, but I could see she was in pain. Even with the smallest sign of smile fading, the man clenched his hands even tighter than before, which made her smile even wider. All three of them were shaking, as if it was extremely cold where they were. After a couple seconds, I realized they were shuddering, like trying to hold back laughter. "What are you laughing at?" I yelled into the screen. They didn't answer. I continued to tremor with concealed hilarity. "What is so damn funny?" I bellowed. They stopped shaking. Within a couple seconds, the screen went black again. When it turned back on, the man no longer grasped the girl's shoulder. Neither was she smiling. All three pointed into the camera. Upon a closer look, I understood that they weren't pointing at me. They were pointing behind me. I didn't need to look back. I could see myself in the webcam. There was someone peeking from behind me. It was another man in a mask. And according to what I saw on my webcam, he was with me in my room, right behind me. I turned around quickly, but saw nothing where I had seen him in the webcam. I turned back towards the screen and, to my bewilderment, saw a third man in the girl's chat box. It was the same man I had just seen standing in my room. Now, all three had their hands on the girl and were gripping tight. The girl wasn't laughing anymore. She had a look of utter devastation. A tear was dropping from her eye, but it wasn't just a tear. It was blood trickling down her eye socket. She had mouthed the words, "Help me," and the next time she screamed as if her lungs were being ripped off as the screen went black. I immediately got up and pulled the plug out of my computer and backed out of the room. For a couple seconds, I swear I heard her scream, even though the computer was unplugged. The room went quiet, but I was too devastated to stay there and ran out of my house despite it being 3 a.m. I caught a cab and went over to my friend's. It took me down for an hour before I could be calmed. I returned back to my house with my friend a day later. Everything was the same. After thoroughly checking around the house, we concluded that there was no one there, was there sign if anyone ever had broken in. I've never gone back to the deep web. My friend suggested it might have been some prank by computer hackers, but the way that girl shrieked, the terror she had on her face, it convinced me she had been a victim herself. I wondered if I had stayed on for longer, if I would have become a victim too. Could those men have found me? Was there really someone in the room with me? There was nothing I could do, because there was nothing concrete to report to the police. What I did do was throw the computer out and buy a new one. There was no way I could even open it back up after what happened.
Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed. That was surely a fun video. And I'll see you guys next time. This was 41 minutes long, so I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.